Hey, it's Tim from AK Sports Cards. Well, I went to a trade night the other night. If you didn't watch my last video, I did a 6-box Bowman Chrome U blaster box break. Actually kind of beat the odds, got some autographs, got some nice Caitlin Clarks, and that's from 22-23. So I had some fun about that about those at trade night, I should say. And I also made some pickups. So, going into this trade night, I usually go to these thinking that I'm going to just buy cards, just kind of looking for rare stuff, looking for good deals, mainly basketball. But this time I'm like, well, I'm going to bring a box of cards and I'm going to look to actually try to trade in addition to buy. And so I actually did make a few trades. My goals for this year, if you saw the goals video, football-wise, I'm basically just looking for Mahomes and Barry Sanders. And so I'm really trying to stick to that. Did trade for somebody not on that list at trade night. Baseball-wise, I'm trying to stick to Ohtani. Well, made a trade for a baseball card that I wasn't expecting to be there. And basketball-wise, I'm pretty wide open in terms of basketball. I want to make it a point this year to start collecting numbered Jordan cards from the 90s. Not these super high end, like thousands and thousands of dollars, but a lot of the cheaper ones, the higher number ones. Some of them that are numbered to 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, etc. One card that I saw at this trade night that I really liked. But I just couldn't find any comps, and I don't know if the guy's value was good or if it was way off. I have no idea. It was an Ultimate Collection. I want to say it was 08-09, and it was graded BGS 8.5, and it was numbered to 499. I couldn't find anything. I mean, I saw a couple listed. I mean, one person's listing, I think, a PSA 8 for like $400, but I don't know if that's what it's worth, what it's not worth, etc. I thought it was pretty cool. I like the card, but generally speaking, if I don't know what a card's worth, if I have nothing to compare it to, I tend to try to avoid those. That's just kind of my own philosophy on that. So, did pick up a couple of cards on my goal list as far as player wise, but then did make a couple of outlier trades. In the end, at this trade night, my theme ended up being on upside. That's really what I ended up going for. Just looking for things that kind of caught my eye and that I thought had upside potential, for a future trade, for example. And so I did pick up a couple cards that I think have a pretty good upside. So I'm curious to see what you're going to think. With that said, only 4 pickups, but some of the stuff's pretty cool. So let's take a look. Get a look at those Christmas tree lights off the kitchen table. It's nearing the end of February. Just being a rebel this year, keeping the tree up and quite frankly, enjoying it. Okay, so first card that is not on my list. Trying to think of what I traded for this. I think I traded a Topps Drew Brees rookie and a PSA 9. And then I had a Kevin Durant throw in. I went with upside on this particular card, and it is a 2020 Select Jordan Love die cut maroon prism. I am not a Packer fan. I'm a Lion fan. I do not like the Packers. I don't like Jordan Love. But I couldn't pass on this one. This one's a PSA 10. It is a field level. You can see on the back. And, some people are big into pop, some aren't. For upside potential, I like to look at pop sometimes. This is a pop 62. And Love ended up having a surprisingly good year. I was kind of hoping that he was going to be more like Charlie Batch, and he might still be. But he did have a pretty good year. And I thought, well, a Drew Brees Topps rookie and that Durant, I don't know. They were somewhere in the $80 to $90 range. So that's about what I have into this trade-wise. But I thought, at the very least, I'll hang on to this until the National, and it'll probably be a pretty decent trade chip by then because people will be starting to get excited about football again and things like that. And like I said, I'm definitely going to the Cleveland National, really looking forward to it. I just think this is a pretty good upside card. I actually like the design. I like the fact that it's a PSA 10 and it's a die cut because a lot of those die cuts are a little rough. So I think this card has pretty good upside potential. I'm pretty excited about it. So, pretty cool card. All right, next two. So I said football-wise, I'm going to try to stick to Mahomes. Well, right off the bat, I went away from that with the love. But the first one that I got, this is kind of a lower grade. This is kind of a throw-in on a trade. It's a 2017 Prestige Mahomes. This is only a near mint 7. But you know, I really looked closely at this card. I really have no idea why this is a 7. I really feel like this is maybe a little undergraded. Yeah, you know, there's a little white there. A couple of these corners, maybe in that one, just a little touch. So you got some whitening on corners. That's really all I can see though. Maybe that was enough, I guess. But kind of a cool card. Again, this is kind of a throw-in. In a 7, you know, this is like a $25, $30 card. But it is a Mahomes rookie. And so that's an important piece as I'm looking to acquire Mahomes. You know, it's kind of a guy I've been looking for. So that's the first one. The bigger card in this trade, and it's not a huge card by any means. By bigger, I mean it's, you know, in that $60, maybe even $80 range, is 2017 SAGE, so Sage. Patrick Mahomes Premier Draft. This is a Gem Mint 10. It's not a really low pop. It's like 1,700 or so. But it's a solid Mahomes, you know, 60, 80 bucks. I was pretty happy with this. This card I didn't have. Again, my theme is to kind of pick up Mahomes cards. Didn't see a lot of other Mahomes available at the show. Or excuse me, at the trade night. It wasn't the show, but didn't see a lot of other Mahomes available. So I got an opportunity to trade for these. I traded a card between the $80 and $90 range for both. So not a crazy good deal. But am adding to the Mahomes collection, so that's a good thing. This last card is kind of an outlier. I had said in my goal show that I'm really just looking for Ohtani baseball-wise. Well, kind of took a different direction. It was basically just, I just thought this card was so cool. It is a 2023 Casey Mize Superfractor. This is the first Superfractor that I've ever owned, whether it be baseball, you know, football, etc., basketball. I've never owned a Superfractor like this. It's kind of hard to see, but the 1 of 1 is right there. You know, talking about upside, so I traded a Luka Prism rookie BGS 9.5 straight up for this. We settled on a value of about 150. Those Lukas are selling for 150 to 165. I just thought this card has upside. I haven't taken it out of the one touch. He claimed that the card looks gem. I looked at it through this. It looked really good to me. I wasn't as concerned about it being absolutely perfect because it's a 1-on-1. And so, you know, there's no competition on this card. Centering's pretty good. Maybe just a touch off left to right, but nothing super significant. Just really like this card. I did hear that he made a start actually today, and his fastball got up to 97 miles an hour. I think he's missed over 20 months with injuries. I think he had Tommy John, and I think he had some kind of back issue too. He's a former #1 overall draft pick. And I just thought at $150 value that this card has upside. You know, it could be a future trade chip. Might throw it on the bay. I'm really not sure. I really kind of like the card. I'll probably throw it on the bay and put a higher buy it now on it and just maybe listen to some offers. But I'm not in a really big rush to let this one go. I just think it's really cool. And maybe he's poised to have a good season. He's been kind of disappointing so far. You know, you start looking at these stats on the back. You know, career record of 7-13. You know, 4.29 ERA, but he's been hurt a lot. So I think he's 25 or 26 years old. Again, former #1 overall pick. I think he's got upside. I'm kind of excited about this card. So if I end up keeping it, that's okay too. Could turn into a PC card. You know, let me know what you think. If you're watching the video, would you get something like this graded? Like if I take this out of here and it looks really good and I know it's going to get a 9 or 10, I mean, is it worth getting graded? You know, it's a 1-on-1, so I guess technically it doesn't really matter what it grades. But I mean, what do you think? It's got a chance at a 10, worth rolling the dice and sending it in. So I'm thinking about it. I may, I've got a couple other cards that I've been looking to send in. I got that Mahomes 101 rookie plate. Thinking about having that cracked out of the HGA case. Maybe sending that in too. And getting that in a PSA slab. That I'm planning on doing for sure. That Luka 101 from a couple videos ago, I'm going to leave that in a SGC case. I kind of like the way that one looks. So, yeah, so these are my trade night pickups. Kind of an upside theme with the Love and the Superfractor. And then trying to stick with goals with Mahomes. I had a lot of fun. Going forward, I'm going to definitely be bringing more cards with me when I go to these trade nights. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember that the opportunities for collecting sports cards are endless.